Hello, my name is Raven, and welcome to my channel. If you do enjoy my content, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And today I'm going to be reading to you guys my poem called The Bad Parts. And that is basically how I feel about my mental health in the state that I am since today I was not feeling all that well. So here you go. The parts of my disorder make me question how I am still alive. I need order. Why should I continue and strive? I feel off today, not in my own mind. I feel like I'm in a trance. The resolution is hard to find, like I'm lost in space. I can't wait till this conversation ends. It's hard to focus on what they are saying. Don't have many friends. I feel like I'm decaying. This is something I cannot control. I can't pick when this happens. It feels like I'm in a black hole. I need to find a balance. These doctors don't get that these pills are not helping me. For some reason, my symptoms have escalated. Feels like I'm in chains. Let me be. I can't think straight. I can't feel right now. I don't want to feel. No one knows what to say. Wow. I'm not even sure what's real. And that is my poem, which is basically more on the symptoms like psychosis, like not wanting to feel anything at all, and also like even though they're saying, you have to take your medication, the medication is not working, it's triggering some symptoms. So it's like instead of getting better, you're getting worse. And then where the conversation and how I want the conversation to end is basically a lot of times on telephones. When I'm talking to family members or friends, it's like I just go in this other world. And I don't even know where I go. I still don't know where I go. I go somewhere. And it's like I hear them, they're talking to me, but it's like my brain is not really processing what they're saying very well. So it's like you're talking to somebody, but it's like your brain is not connecting anything that they're saying. And then in your mind, you're like, okay, I want this conversation to end because then you start realizing that you are in that trance and you're like, okay, I don't want to look like an idiot or have them judge me because they might not know what I have. So you're like waiting for the conversation to end. Like, come on, like end the conversation already. I want to get off the phone because I can't focus. And then not being in your own mind, I feel like when that episode of psychosis it starts, it's for me it's kind of like a vibration that I feel, and then it's like it's a weird feeling, like I feel it up here, like where my head, or it's like this weird vibration kind of feeling, and then you kind of get kind of dizzy, but don't. It's really weird, and it's like say you're looking at a movie, a TV show, and your mind just looks at that screen, but you're not even looking at what's on it. You're just looking directly in the screen, and then you just get lost. And then the why should I continue and strive is like some days you're just laying there like, okay, like why am I here? And I recently did see the simulation on YouTube that I thought it was really cool. It's a simulation of psychosis. And it was pretty interesting because this was of a teenage girl that she didn't know like what is going on with her. And she's just there and the fan is like circling and circling and she's like staring at it forever, and that's how I am. Like in the phone, like say this phone. like in the screen, like as people are calling her, instead of having like a normal screen when people call you, her screen was like different colors and pixels, which is exactly what goes on in our mind of what we see that's not even real because we're not even in reality at this point. And then there's also parts that like their friends are inviting her somewhere and she's like that she doesn't like want to go, so they're calling her, and she just like stays there laying down and goes to sleep. So I can relate to that too, that it's like you isolate your own self because you don't want to deal with anything. And I think there was a part where she goes to the counselor because she knew something was wrong with her, like other than a sickness, like something's up. And that's why they tell her to go to the doctor and they had to roll out certain stuff. And I think it was pretty cool to show people on what it is like. And I also seen the one about schizophrenia, and I think that is cool because that one really takes you in the mind of someone who has schizophrenia and the things that they go through. So I think it's cool that they have simulations out there. And I know my past therapist did tell me like for her to, I guess, graduate to be a therapist or whatever, that they had her act out like she was, a patient that has schizophrenia, and they had like these three people around her. And then on the other side of the table was supposed to be like, I guess, a professor or whatever, like acting as the therapist. And they were doing like that role play, and she had to like try to listen what the person was saying, uh, along with hearing all these other people talking. And she said it was hard, but it was to show what schizophrenia is. And I think stuff like that is pretty cool because I still feel like a lot of stuff people get freaked out about or is like sexualized too, where some people like, oh, it's good to be like crazy or it's good to be insane, and they don't like really talk about the bad parts, like the bad parts of sometimes we don't have good hygiene. Sometimes we don't want to brush our teeth, we don't want to take a shower, we don't want to get dressed, we don't want to shave, we don't want to nothing, and no one likes to talk about that kind of stuff. And the fact that you can stay in bed all day and not care and not have any motivation to get up or to do anything, or you could have you oh this I feel like this is a big one. Well, mostly for girls, where you could go days, weeks, months of not cleaning your house because you're so like overwhelmed or whatever's going on with you mentally. So that's another one I think they judge because I guess as a girl supposed to have like your house clean and whatever all the time. And it's like, well, what if you have a condition or something that you just cannot for that time being? So I wish people would see that side of it. That it's not always so pretty or whatever, as they say. Because I think we go through a lot of hard stuff. And I feel like for me, once I tell people about my disorder and whatever, it's always like I always get the feeling it's more of a, oh, I feel sorry for you kind of thing, rather than support you. Or the people have the same condition I do, but they want to judge me. But when they're having an episode, I'm supposed to be sympathetic. So I think it's a lot of work to be done where we don't bash each other down, or we should be accepting of everything. And I feel like I am accepting of everything, the way people want to love, types of relationships people have, also mental health. And a lot of times people will be like, well, you're kind of crazy. But that's just me. I just feel like you can love whoever you want to love. You can have whatever type of relationship you want to have with somebody. And if you do have a certain disorder or you're disabled or whatever, you're a human being. And that's what I think. And also, I feel like to say special needs, it's not cool. Just say the word disabled. It's simple. I've been learning that because my daughter, how I mentioned before, she has microdeletion syndrome, and it's like everything in one type of thing. So it's like different other things attached to her main diagnosis. So I am learning a lot from that as well. So that's good. It helps me to keep an open mind about everybody. But yeah, that's all I want to say.